I would like to know, when did it come in play that love was meant to have stipulations? Last time I checked, love finds a person. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. But love is. And love finds its way to a person. And the best love that I know of is a godly love, a spiritual love, a love that is unique in its own way, where you become aware of the person prior to you ever meeting them. You know certain things about them. You may even have a vision or a dream or a spiritual visitation of that person in advance before they ever meet you in person. So that way, when you do meet in person, you know exactly who they are. Indeed. I think I did a video similar to this a while back pertaining to soulmates. But this was rattling around in my head, and I figured, let me go ahead on and do a video on this. And let me see what other people think about it. So, somewhere down the line, we have come to believe that the only way that we can have love in our life is if we have somebody to have a nice car or a nice job, somebody that dresses a certain way, a certain height, a certain size, and all the other things in between. But it is possible you can't have those things, but what if the person that God made for you is not like that? And I can give you an example. Many years ago, when I was at a church, my bishop got up and he did a testimony about how he met his wife and everything. Now, what my bishop said was that he liked them yellow hammers, them thick legs and thighs and them big hips. That's what he was attracted to. But God blessed him with a woman that was the opposite of all of that. So God gave him what he needed, not what he wanted. And I'm explaining. She wasn't just a smaller woman that wasn't voluptuous. She was an intelligent woman. She was a woman that was good with her hands and very creative. This woman, this is the pastor, the bishop pastor, and she is his first lady. They went in and they bought a church. Named the church Praise Cathedral. We all went in, meaning all the executive people, and we looked around. We noticed that there was no platform. My bishop wife is good with her hands, and so am I. She went head on and laid down the foundation of a platform. That's right. She built a platform that was about 55 feet wide and about 75 feet in length. I said it backwards, I think. Yes, I did. 75 feet in length and 55 feet wide. And it had the steps to go up and the steps to come down on the other side as well. Everything was done by hand. There was no outsiders that was brought in to do the work. The work was done by just a few members in the church. Another incident, they had, I think it was a BMW too, if I'm correct. And the bishop had an appointment to be at an official meeting with the other bishops on a particular day. Well, the cost to have the vehicle fixed was outrageous to them, correct? So the wife looked at it. She turned around and called and found out how much the parts is. This was a little bit after she and I had talked. I went by to visit her, and she was telling me about the vehicle. And so I asked her to give me, some of the symptoms so we could troubleshoot it. And when she told me, I said, "Oh, it's this, that, and the other, such, such, such." She said, "That's what I thought." So she went and got those parts, and she fixed the BMW. This she did. Took her 2 days, but she got it done. Had no trouble with it. I'm saying all of this to say that sometimes we think we know what we want and what we need. I mean, God can see down the street what you really need. You think you need hips, lips, and fingertips. That's good for a season. But you need somebody that's going to be not your right-hand person, but you need your helpmeet, the one God made just for you. And speaking on that, I believe that's why God took Eve out of Adam and presented back to him his other part of him, his body, his soul, his spirit. Now, a lot of us not into it or don't believe in twin flame soulmates, but they are real. And so I believe in this age of Aquarius, this is what God is really trying to lead us back to. Not just going out there grabbing somebody because of what they look like or what they have obtained, but actually becoming more in tune spiritually so with him, with self, and allowing him to send that other part of you back, the other part of your soul back to you. Now, you may speak Chinese, and the other one is Chinese. Hello, somebody. Or, in some ways, y'all gonna be able to match. Now, I can tell you about my twin flame soulmate. And I'm gonna tell you now, there's not much of anything that I don't know how to do. By the time I was 29 years old, I told myself that I did not want to be in a position where I could not fend for myself. Therefore, I wanted to know as much as I could, right? So when my soulmate told me that they wanted to go into real estate and sell houses, I already knew how to do that. Or I have a knowledge of how to go about to do it from past. When my soulmate told me that they was having problems with their vehicle, I asked him what was going on with it, and when he told me, I told him exactly what it is and told him that he could go and get the part and put it on, and it's going to take X amount of time to do so. Okay? And I asked him, "Do you know how to do it?" Well, he didn't want to fiddle with it himself. He said he tired of fixing it on that vehicle, okay? So I said, well, why don't we just go buy a brand new vehicle? And I just want any old thing. No, you don't want no any old thing, because that's what you're going to get. You're going to keep getting something that break down. So put a value on what you want and let God give you something of value, not just something. That applies in your relationship. Don't just, and this goes for men. Now you want a queen, but you keep going to get a peasant. God trying to give you your queen, but you want that peasant. Vice versa. God trying to give you a king, but you don't want the king. You want what is that guy called? The jester. Somebody like to play around. Come on now. We need to be more in tune with God, more in tune with our spirit, more in tune spiritually. So that what we draw to us is what we really want, or what we're really supposed to have. You know, I made a mistake, if you want to call it that, but I don't think it really was a mistake. And let me retract that, because a lot of our relationships that we had on our journey, trying to get to the one, is for our learning. It is to teach us what we want and what we don't want in a relationship, what we'll accept and what we won't accept. It is to help us to grow mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and hopefully also financially and socially. I think I said that already. So it's like building blocks of our life. When anybody that know anything about psychology know about the temperaments and the building blocks, how everything in your environment becomes building blocks for your character, or who you believe that you are, or who you want to be, or portray yourself as to the world, you know. And there's a lot of stuff you have the opportunity to accept and reject. Now, some get fascinated when they see people on the corners doing all manner of things. They say, ooh, that's an exciting life. I want to be like that. Why would you want to be a woman walking around here with hot pants on, with half your cheeks out, totally disrespecting yourself and others, which I'm sure I'm going to hear some feedback about this, because somebody's going to say to each his own. No, what it is that I struck a nerve, and you're going to have a problem with it, because this is something that you like to do. And anytime that you say something that strikes a nerve into another person, it's either that they are convicted at that moment, or it was something, it brought about a little shame, or something that they weren't ready for everybody to know. You know, I had something that came out a while back, publicly, which it really did. I got offended. I won't lie about it. I was offended because I had not had any encounter outside of spiritual with my soulmate, right? And this particular person decided to say publicly, and the way they said it was spiteful, that I had never been intimate with the man. Applaud me for that. That means that we're still working on each other, ourselves. So when we do come together, we come together correct. But to publicly say something like that, when this is something that only you knew in private, then, and I turn back around and I send you a message in private pertaining to that, and then you turn around and you want to publicly reprimand me by blocking me tells me a lot about your character as well, or that particular person. I felt like that this person handled the whole thing childishly and wanted to prove to me how much power and authority that they have. But they will say that there was not an ego. And I still believe that I don't owe that person an apology. But that person needed to do an evaluation of how they interacted with me during a public setting. So, long story short, this particular person justified everything. And to be be self-righteous is not a cool thing. Because if you find yourself being self-righteous in that particular area, then you feel like that you're never wrong. And I know many people that don't feel like they did any wrong. But let's get back on subject about these soulmates. Now, each one of us have 12 soulmates, just like Jesus Christ have 12 soulmates. And also we have one twin flame soulmate. So you got one twin flame, which is the ultimate. And then you have your 12 soulmates. Now, there are some that's probably going to say, well, you get more than one twin flame soulmate. I beg to differ. I just think that if the one continues to reject you, then God give you another person. But they're not your twin flame soulmate. They're just a soulmate. And I will say this. Once you come encounter with your twin flame soulmate, whether it's a good experience or bad, you will not forget each other. And once you have tasted the amount of love that comes with that, there's no relationship after that could ever compare. In fact, you may even get to the place where you don't want nothing else but that one. Anyway, that's my take on that. Now, someone might say, well, what about people of the same sex? What do you think about them? Well, I don't really have nothing to say about them. Or to think about them. Okay, something else come to mind. In the book of Genesis, it says to be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. This is what God told Adam and Eve. Now, God took Eve out of Adam, so I believe that Adam was born with both agendas within. So he was able to self-create, self-procreate. But when God put him to sleep, and he said it wasn't good for man to be alone, that he was going to make him a helpmeet, he took that part out of him and presented it back to him. So is it possible? Is it possible that the first man that was made was actually a hermaphrodite? Come on. Let's keep it real. I like to put out thought-provoking subjects. And if that's the case, that's when God decided to take woman out of man. Therefore, there was male and female. And have you noticed how soulmates normally seem to look like each other? They have features alike. It might be the lips, might be the nose, could be the eyes, could be the way they carry themselves. My soulmate and I, neither one of us really believe in smiling on pictures. That was amazing. So when I began to interact with him, we sent each other pictures. Neither one of us believed in smiling. He didn't ask me why you don't smile, and I didn't ask him why. But I went ahead and offered an explanation by saying I feel like that too much smiling give you big indentions in your face. So I try not to do so. Well, that's my theory. So, and here's another thought-provoking thing. pertaining to same-sex relationships. Now, I know this is going to throw some people for a loop, but hey, remember I said I like to throw thought-provoking subjects out there. What if all that you see upon this earth is what's supposed to be here? Because I feel like that when God said, let us make man in our likeness, he wasn't, when he was talking to the Elohim, there was many. And they could have been all scientists from different planets. And what they did, they came and each one of them put their DNA into all of those that was made or procreated at that time, or created. So when that DNA gets, and when it matures, 75, 100, 150, 200 years, then here comes being born a different breed of people. Different color, different sexuality, male born with female parts, females born with male parts, born with both parts, obese people, skinny people, people that walk with a halt on their leg, people that are highly intuitive, I believe that every species took a chance by putting their DNA into us. And I feel that the whole objective is to see if we all can live together in harmony. And if we can do it here on Earth, then all the other planets, all the other species of people through space and time will come together. But this is the place that the peace treaty starts. So they put their people here, and they have to come through genetically. They have to be born. And they say this is the ultimate peace treaty. If those that we have put our DNA in can live in harmony with one another and cast aside their differences in color, sex, religion, and all of that, then we all can come together in harmony. Now, there's more to this, and I wrote this in my book, in one of my books. And I will say this, that I was writing 6 books at one time, and I put my computer in the shop, and the man kept my computer for 5 months, and he kept coming up with excuses why I couldn't get my computer back. Okay? When I finally did get it back, it was not fixed, and my books were missing. Now, there's a strong possibility there's some plagiarism going on here, because I've noticed a few movies out that have some stuff that was in a few of my books. Now, I'm not saying that we all are not tapped in and tuned in and can't receive some of the same stuff. But I find it mighty odd. Because one book I've been writing since 2015. And be honest with you, even when I went back and I found a saved copy of it on one of my SD drives, it wasn't all of it. So that I was hurt about that. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. It's supposed to be talking mainly about soulmates. Like, share, subscribe, comment respectfully. I'd love to read your comments about what you think pertaining to this. I'm not a sexist and I'm not a racist in no shape, form, or fashion. I used to be a model many years ago when I was much younger. And I enjoyed just being decoration on a man's arm when he went out. So I had no problem with that. I would like to believe I was an international, not lover, can't say that. But I was international, pretty much. I didn't have a problem with nobody. And I still don't. So I just don't understand why some people feel that when they leave their own race for a relationship, that they have to downplay their own relationship and feel like that their status is going to excel because they're with another skin tone person. No, I didn't mean to go here, but I guess it needed to come out. Now, so that makes me wonder, if you got a problem with your own race and all you can do is see yourself with a particular race, sound like you got some self-hatred. You don't like your mama. You don't like your dad. In fact, you don't even like yourself because you just can't see yourself with anybody of your same color. But you have to keep venturing out. Maybe you found that a lot of people in your same nationality are not good people. That just means you're looking in the wrong places. Wouldn't it be wiser just to pray and ask God to send you the one? Oh, and He will. But you're gonna have to come to terms with, Father, I don't know what he or she gonna look like, but I pray that they're decent. And there's something else about when you meet the one. You develop unconditional love for that person. What am I talking about? He or she might not have the best job. They might work at Jack in the Box. They might work at any kind of fast food place. Heck, they might even work on a solid waste truck. They may not have a car. They might ride the bus. In fact, they might even ride a bicycle on days when it's cloudy and it's raining with a slicker suit. They may have to pay a carpool to get back and forth to where they need to go. She might not get her nails done. She may not even get her hair done. He may not be the kind that likes to hang out and party all the time. More like a homebody. He may not be into wearing suits, but casual wear and look doggone good in it. He might like to wear his hair in dreads instead of have it cut off and have that executive look. However, unconditional love is just that. But the more that you interact with your soulmate, your twin flame soulmate, if he or she is still here, you begin to evolve. You grow. You start wanting to do self-checks. It makes you want to do better, be better, to upgrade yourself. It does. It do all of that. Yeah. All right, I'm going to stop right now. We're 30 minutes into this video.